Making storm windows for our jalousies. So the first thing I had to do was cut all the sash. The sash is the aluminum frame that goes around each window. It has a little piece of weather stripping in it and a gasket inside, fits nicely to the window. Will help with efficiency for heat and for cool. So, but I first had to start with cutting all the little pieces because I'm making 9 storm windows for the 9 Jalousie windows that we will be restoring in our vintage trailer. So here, what I've started doing is cutting each piece. It's a little time consuming because I don't have a miter saw. I have this little hacksaw with a nice blade on it that does cut them pretty easily. And I use a little miter box to make sure that I'm on a 90-degree angle. This little cobalt saw has been awesome, and it has cut every single sash that I needed and still has a lot of life left in it. So, but was quite time consuming since I had to cut so many different pieces. But labor of love for sure. Okay, and then we have a ton of honeybees that are everywhere. Very exciting. So on the next day, it was time to put my sash together in order to put them onto the glass pieces. So the corners that I'm putting in here, they're the plastic corners. They do have an offset. So on my sash, comparative to the measurements of the screen, I had to take off 1 7/16 inches in order to ensure that the sash would be the right length on the window. And you can see here that a little bit difficult to get in, but that little rubber mallet is awesome sauce. It was very helpful. It says that you're supposed to be able to press those things in, but not so much. So we take the plastic off of the plexi. Make sure you leave the plastic on when you cut that plexi. And then here we are. We're going to try to place and wrap the sash around the glass here. It's a little bit more difficult on the big piece. The smaller pieces are a lot easier. Hey. What I did realize while doing this process was that I had to continuously push down on the sash to the glass in order for it to really get inside that gasket to make sure that we were all cornered up here and good and tight. One of the takeaways here was to make sure that I do not lay my glass, the plexi, onto the plywood because the plywood was scratching the plexi. I had taken off the cover, so now we have a little swirl in the plexi from where some of the dust from the plexi has scratched it. So lesson learned, won't do it again. I'm going to use my little mallet again to get it even tighter. Finished product. These are the cool casement clips I bought. Very cool. They help hold the window in place, as you can see here on one of the ones I've already completed. So now I'm at it. So the screw for these particular casement clips are about 1/16 of an inch bigger than the ones I had before. So I'm going to use the drill to screw those in to help make that hole a little bigger. Remember when you get your casement clips that they have enough space for the actual casement of the storm window. When I first got into it, I didn't realize, but I needed that 5/8 in order to hold the casement in there. So it slides in nicely. You turn the little clips around and it fits in. I was really trying to make sure that we were tight and in place, and if there's any gaps in the window, I would know where, if I needed to screw it in a little bit more. Was a really exciting process once you get it up there. So I continued to make a few more adjustments to make sure that we were all in place. I had to adjust it a little bit further up in order for it to be tight at the top and the weather stripping to be touching the aluminum frame. And then here we are with the finished product.